Hello, how y'all doing today? Hope you're doing well. I'll be reading Isaiah chapter 9 today. If you could please like and subscribe, I'd really appreciate it. You can help me to spread the good news to everybody else. Today is make it a good day, and today's a blessed day. Nevertheless, the gloom will not be upon her who is distressed, as when at first he lightly esteemed the land of Zebulun and the land of Naphtali. And afterward more heavily oppressed her by the way of the sea, beyond the Jordan, and Galilee of the Gentiles. The people who walked in darkness have seen a great light. Those who dwelt in the land of the shadow of death, upon them a light has shined. You have multiplied the nation and increased its joy. They rejoice before you according to the joy of harvest, as men rejoice when they divide the spoil. For you have broken the yoke of his burden, and the staff of his shoulder, the rod of his oppressor, as in the day of Midian. For every warrior's sandal from the noisy battle, and garments rolled in blood, will be used for burning and fuel of fire. For unto us a child is born, unto us a son is given, and the government will be upon his shoulder, and his name will be called Wonderful Counselor, Mighty God, Everlasting Father, Prince of Peace. Of the increase of his government and peace there will be no end, upon the throne of David and over his kingdom, to order it and establish it with judgment and justice. From that time forward, even forever, the zeal of the Lord of hosts will perform this. The Lord sent a word against Jacob, and it has fallen on Israel. All the people will know, Ephraim and the inhabitant of Samaria, who say in pride and arrogance of heart, the bricks have fallen down, but we will rebuild with hewn stones. The sycamores are cut down, but we will replace them with cedars. Therefore the Lord shall set up the adversaries of Rezin against him, and spur his enemies on, the Syrians before and the Philistines behind. And they shall devour Israel with an open mouth. For all this his anger is not turned away, but his hand is stretched out still. For the people do not turn to him who strikes them, nor do they seek the Lord of hosts. Therefore the Lord will cut off head and tail from Israel, palm branch and bulrush in one day. The elder and honorable, he is the head. The prophet who teaches lies, he is the tail. For the leaders of his people cause them to err, and those who are led by them are destroyed. Therefore the Lord will have no joy in their young men, nor have mercy on their fatherless and widows. For everyone is a hypocrite and an evildoer, and every mouth speaks folly. For all this his anger is not turned away, but his hand is stretched out still. For wickedness burns as the fire. It shall devour the briars and the thorns, and kindle in the thickets of the forest. This shall mount up like rising smoke through the wrath of the Lord of hosts, and the land is burned up, and the people shall be as fuel for the fire. No man shall spare his brother, and he shall snatch on the right hand, and be hungry. He shall devour on the left hand, and not be satisfied. Every man shall eat the flesh of his own arm. Manasseh shall devour Ephraim, and Ephraim Manasseh. Together they shall be against Judah. For all of this his anger is not turned away, but his hand is stretched out still. That was a good chapter. Today is March 16th. I'll be reading Streams and Desert. Pardon me, I have really bad allergies right now. I'm about to sneeze. It's still dark outside. Oh God. Please help me, God. For our good, Hebrews 12:10. Let me try to read this with a freaking clogged nose. In one of Ralph Connor's books, he tells the story of Gwen. Gwen was an undisciplined and strong-willed girl, always accustomed to having her own way. One day she had a terrible accident that crippled her for life, leading her to become even more rebellious. Once, while in a complaining mood, she was visited by a local sky pilot, or moniteur, missionary. He told her the following parable about the canyon. At first there were no canyons, but only the vast, open prairie. One day the master of the prairie, walking across his great grasslands, asked the prairie, "Where are your flowers?" The prairie responded, "Master, I have no flower seeds." The master then spoke to the birds, and they brought seeds of every kind of flower, scattering them far and wide. Soon the prairie bloomed with crocuses, roses, yellow buttercups, while sunflowers and red lilies all summer long. Wild sunflowers and red lilies all summer long. When the master saw the flowers, he was pleased, but he failed to see his favorites, and asked the prairie, "Where are the clematis, columbine, violets, wildflowers, ferns, and the flowering shrubs?" So once again he spoke to the birds again, and they brought all the seeds and spread them far and wide. But when the master arrived, he still could not find the flowers he loved the most, and asked, "Where are my sweetest flowers?" The prairie cried sorrowfully, "Oh, master, I cannot keep the flowers. The winds sweep fiercely across me, and the sun beats down upon my breast, and they simply wither up and blow away." Then the master spoke to the lightning, and with one swift bolt, the lightning split the prairie through its heart. The prairie reeled and groaned in agony, and for many days bitterly complained about its dark, jagged, and gaping wound. But the river poured in water through the chasm, bringing rich, dark soil with it. Once again the birds brought seeds and scattered them in the canyon. After a long time, the rough rocks were adorned with soft mosses and trailing vines, and all the scheduled cliffs were draped with clematis and columbine. Giant elms raised their huge limbs high into the sunlight, while at their feet small cedars and balsam firs clustered together. Everywhere violets, anemone, sorry if I misspelled that, or said that, and maidenhair firs grew and bloomed until the canyon became the master's favorite place for rest, peace, and joy. Then the sky pilot said to her, "The fruit or flowers of the Spirit are love, joy, peace, patience, kindness, gentleness." Galatians 5:22-23. And some of these grow only in the canyon. Gwen softly asked, "Which are the canyon flowers?" The missionary answered, "Patience, kindness, and gentleness." Yet even though love, joy, and peace may bloom in the open spaces, the blossom is never as beautiful, or the perfume as fragrant as when they are found blooming in the canyon. Gwen sat very still for quite some time, and then longingly said with trembling lips, "There are no flowers in my canyon, only jagged rocks." The missionary lovingly responded, "Someday they will bloom, dear Gwen. The master will find them, and we will see them too. Beloved, when you come to your canyon, remember." And it stops there. Man, my allergies are bad. But nevertheless, can't give up. I have to keep, going forward and keep on keeping on. Thanks for watching. Thank you for everyone that is subscribed to my channel. I really appreciate you. And may you be blessed by this reading. And may God show himself to you more and more each and every day. Thank you. Have a good day.